Hello all and welcome back to another Tales of Hyperia update. I wasn't going to post anything related to Tales of Hyperia for a while, one so I could catch up with some of my other videos, and second to let the dust settle from the demo release. Here's the good news, I've actually created the majority of my videos for the rest of the year. In fact, I only have 2 left to record after this one. If you've been following me for a bit, you know I released my Tales of Hyperia, the Crimson Knight demo, in mid-July. The reaction was mediocre at best. Kind of a downer for something I've been pouring my heart into, but it's all good. I'd like to take the opportunity with this video to address some of the comments from my demo, both constructive and not. Before that though, I never officially announced anything on YouTube regarding the Tales of Hyperia, the Crimson Knight demo, version 2.0. Well, I officially uploaded version 2.0. I'll get to that in a bit though. Let's start with the very first comment that I received. Yikes. This is apparently this person's shtick though, as was mentioned in another comment. Troll's gonna troll, I guess. Although I will say this took the wind out of my sails a bit on the day I upload it. But that's part of the experience, I guess. Oh well, enough pity party nonsense. Let's get into some of the criticisms and how I'm going to address them, or not address them, moving forward. This is one of the later comments I received, but I want to address it first because it's actually a major update to the game. Here's a comment that I got saying that the text was too spaced out, and it made it a little difficult to read at times. Also, I'm apparently breaking a lot of rules with breaking up words to make the sentences fit. Fair enough to both of those comments. I always wanted to replace the default GB Studio font, so I did. I was originally going to wait to unveil this on the final build, but I decided to redo all the letters and numbers for version 2.0 of the demo. In addition to that, I honestly didn't know that you can adjust the font spacing until I looked into it. I guess I should have looked into that before releasing demo version 1.0. Regardless, I believe both issues are now fixed. I've edited all the dialogue in the game with this new font and spacing. I also noticed some spelling errors and grammar issues that accidentally made it into the final build. I thought I got them all before I released the demo, but I believe I definitely got them now. Again, I'm just one guy making the game, so please excuse anything you see, and I'm going to try to address those as they pop up. Next up is a comment that I received from pretty much everyone that left a comment. And that is, the equipment screen is too cumbersome. And you know what? It is. I always dreaded that part of the game when I playtest it, but I always figured it was because I had to do it a lot through multiple playthroughs. That said, I don't like the old equipment menu, players didn't either, so I changed it. Let's go over said changes. First, I took out the on-screen cursor that players could control and replaced that process with a menu. The menu is a little easier to navigate, well, at least to me. It's at least more responsive in my opinion. Second, I added a feature to optimize your equipment. This allows players to skip navigating the menus altogether and equip the most recently acquired equipment. Unfortunately, most accessories are not part of this optimization function, so players will still have to equip those themselves. Third, for those that don't want to navigate this menu at all, well, tough. But on a serious note, I added a feature to equip weapons, armors, etc. as soon as it's acquired. Now, some of the comments mention that there are too many menus to navigate for the equipment, so I tried to consolidate. Unfortunately, I couldn't make something that didn't exceed the memory limits. For better or for worse, the equipment screen you see here is the system going forward. I was, however, able to consolidate the stat screens. So now players will just have to navigate a series of menus to check out all the players' stats. The next comment I received was the mages are too weak and I should add more skills. So one thing I didn't fix before uploading the demo that I really should have was the strength of the mage characters Benjamin and Elliot. Their strength and attack stats are going to remain the same, but I did tweak it so they can now damage enemies, as opposed to not doing any damage at all. It won't be much damage, but it's better than zero. I got a really good suggestion from someone to create secondary abilities for each character. I love that idea, so I got to work right away. Each character has their own unique ability to use in battle now. Isaac can now taunt enemies to force them to target him for the next attack, assuming the enemy decides to not use a buff or a group attack. Although, if an enemy does use a buff or group attack, then Isaac will still be targeted for the next attack. If he taunted, that is. Benjamin now has the ability to bore the enemies with a random factoid about Hyperia. If Benjamin manages to connect, then the enemy's turn will be skipped. I may add in some actual factoids about Hyperia, but for now, the game just tells you whether Benjamin succeeded or not. Elliot's new ability is Joke. Elliot can make an enemy's defense drop if he gets it to laugh. Unlike the Bore ability, players have a chance to see one of 8 groan-inducing jokes. Dorian can now use the Jab ability to potentially lower an enemy's strength. I'm still tweaking these skills to determine how often they will land, but they are in place and here to stay, so try them out when you play version 2.0. I will warn you though that some of these attacks will not work on mid-bosses and actual bosses, so use them strategically. I'm going to lump the next 2 comments together, and again these are comments that I got from a majority of the players that left the comment. One comment is that there's too much text which leads to too much button pressing, and the other is that the story is bland. So first, this is an RPG, so expect text. Although, to be fair, I am long-winded. I did try to change up the sentence structure and dialogue to reduce the amount of clicking, but I didn't remove that much. So sorry to say, you guys will just have to get over that one. The next one, I'm honestly not going to bother with. The story is bland? I mean, maybe to some people. This is a love letter to retro RPGs, and I'm not pretending it's anything else. The thing is, the intro is packed with character dialogue to establish their personalities. Yes, it's good versus evil at the end of the day, but why even play a game if you don't care about the characters outside of good guy versus bad guy? There's also a lot of mention that the game is slow. Honestly, I think this is the result of being played on a flash site. My guess is that the players' computers aren't able to process the game. And I don't mean that as a jab against anyone either. I'm honestly speaking from experience from playing tons of games on a laptop that wasn't good enough to run most Flash games. In fact, that's why a lot of my Flash bin videos have slowed down graphics. Regardless, the Tales of Hyperia demo plays fine for me, so I can't really address that one. I guess the biggest discrepancy here is that I released my demo on 3 sites, 2 of which are primarily Flash sites. I would love to give Tales of Hyperia the Crimson Knight a physical release, which I honestly believe may address some concerns about too much clicking or button pressing. Mostly because I feel like people may be more invested that way. Although I'm not entirely sure why I think that though. Maybe it's just because I wouldn't mind it. Either way, at the end of the day, I'm making a game that I would want to play. I love what I have so far, and I hope you'll like it too. If not, well, that's okay. I'm still proud of what I have, and I'm not stopping anytime soon. You can play version 2.0 the demo at Congregate, Newgrounds, and itch.io. The links are down in the description. With that said, happy gaming, and, as always, thank you for watching.